All right, hello students. Welcome to week 2, day 5 expectations as well as the close reading. Today we're going to be going over the expectations of what I'm hoping for you guys to get done today, as well as I'm going to be reading the close reading. So if you want to join me for that, awesome. Just like the other videos, I'm going to be starting with the expectations and then doing the close reading. So the first thing we're going to be doing today is doing that close reading. This starts on page 28 of the PDF and will be day 2 and 3. Starts right here. I want you guys to underline or highlight important information, write down questions or ways that you've related to the material, similar to all the other close readings that we've been doing. So continue with that. After that, the next task is really tied to that first close reading, where I want you to write 5 questions and answers that cover the material that you just read. So what I basically want you to do is, after reading this material, create a 5-question quiz that covers from the beginning of the material to the end of the material and shows me that you have a deep understanding, and the questions and answers could really only be answered if you have read the close reading. So create your own quiz and answer your own quiz, and then I'll be able to see how deep of an understanding you were able to get from that close reading. After that, I want you to create 2 pages of notes on your biography person. Again, you should know which person that you're doing, and this time we're looking at their adulthood as opposed to the young adulthood. Make sure to cite your sources, so continue on with that. In addition, review and practice any movements from mystery class. Again, I sent that out on Sunday. I haven't received any emails of anyone that said they didn't get it, but if you haven't gotten it and you haven't been practicing, please send me an email and I will be able to get that to you if you haven't already gotten it. In addition, make sure that you have 30 minutes of light cardio activities such as walking, running, or anything else that gets the heart pumping. Again, I need you guys moving. You're going to be a lot happier if you're moving. All right, so those are all the expectations for today. Also, finish any math homework. I don't think there's any math homework on Friday, but make sure to finish any work that is for Miss Moore. Get it done by the end of this week so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, those are all the expectations. Again, close reading, quiz with 5 questions and 5 answers, biography, notes, 2 pages, adulthood, and then mystery class movement, and then make sure that you guys are moving today. All right, let's dive into the close reading. Days 2 and 3. There is an ancient Indian legend that tells how the people decided to burn down the trees to make a clearing. The legend says that the fire blazed ferociously and smoke rose so high that it polluted the ice kingdom of Kuna. Kuna was the god of snow and storm. He was so angry that he sent down thunder and lightning and hail. The Indians had to take cover in caves. When the storm was over, the Indians emerged from their caves and found a single plant had survived. It was the coca plant. Since that day, the Indians have chewed the coca plant to relieve them of hunger and pain. Today, many Indians of South America chew this plant daily. It is used in medicine and in certain ceremonies to foretell the future. Sacrifices of the leaves are made to Mother Earth throughout the year, and they are burned to bring good luck when a new house is built. The cocoa plant is also used to make the drug cocaine. I don't like that they're using the word Indians, because they're clearly not Indians. Anyways, the Incas were one of the many groups of people living in the Peruvian Andes. Their empire was huge, encompassing many other tribes. Incas were very superstitious. They believed that all disease had a supernatural cause, and therefore must be cured by magic or by the gods. They used many herbal remedies such as well as rituals. There were particular tribes who specialized in healing, and they acted as doctors for the other Andean people. Typical remedies involved boiling bark, roots, or leaves and applying the solution to the wound or inflamed joint to heal sores or dull pain. Other common treatments were purging and bleeding. Purging meant that the person was made to empty out his or her body by vomiting or emptying the bowels. This was done by giving special purgative herbs. Bleeding meant that a cut was made in the vein closest to where the pain was felt in the body. It was thought that allowing the blood to flow out would relieve the problem. For example, a headache might be treated by making a small cut between the eyebrows above the bridge of the nose. Tigs were used for cleaning the teeth and gums. Urine came in handy for bathing an infant with a fever. Tobacco was ground into a powder and inhaled, which was supposed to clear the head. As mentioned, coca leaves were used as a hunger suppressant and painkiller. Additionally, it was used as a stimulant, and it helped stop diarrhea and dry up ulcers. Leaves of the yucca plant were helped eliminate joint pain, and various animal fats and herbs were mixed together for massage oil. Many of these herbal remedies worked well and are still in use today. However, there are many superstition cures that were more questionable. Umbilical cords were saved from birth so a sick baby could suck the illness from its body by sucking on the cord. Sacrifices and rituals were carried out to make sure that the illness wasn't caused by neglecting religious duties or ignoring long dead ancestors. A special cleansing cure was required that the sick person go to the juncture of two rivers and wash themselves with water and white maize flour. If a person broke a bone, it was thought to be caused by the spirits in the area where the accident happened, so a sacrifice was made in this spot. Incas were ruled by an emperor who was believed to be descended from the sun god, Inti. Every tribe in the empire had to build a temple to the sun god. The chief sun temple was in the capital city of Cusco. The Inca New Year was celebrated on the day when the sun passed directly over the temple at noon. This celebration was called the Great Sun Festival. On this day, anyone in the city who wasn't an Inca left to go camp in the fields. Everyone else gathered in the main square by the temple. The emperor, also called the Sapa Inca, removed his crown and prayed to the sun all night. In the morning, when the rays of the rising sun filled the temple, he came out. The people brought him a pure white llama. He welcomed it and gave it a special message to deliver to the gods. Then it was sent out into the mountains to deliver its message to the sun. The people celebrated for the rest of the day with music, dancing, and beer made from maize. They honored the Sapa Inca because he was the child of the sun. Just as the sun made their plants grow, the Sapa Inca cared for them and ruled them for their own good. Inca society was very well organized. It had a place for everyone and work for everyone. The people lived in communities which were either family groups or groups formed for administrative purposes. Administrative groups consisted of military officials, descendants of previous Sapa Incas, judges, chief civil servants, and lower level officials. There were also groups of specialists, craftsmen. Family groups usually consisted of farmers and peasants. Inca land was divided into three parts. The first part was for the gods, and it provided food for the priests and offerings for sacrifices. The second part produced crops for the emperor and his noblemen and for the sick and the needy. The third part was for the peasants. Very few people suffered real hardships under Inca rule. However, the rules of society were strict. The intent of the government was for everyone to help everyone else. Everyone worked except for the very sick, the very old, and the very young. There was a tax system that allowed workers to be paid not in money, but in a percentage of what they produced. Everyone contributed taxes as described above, and the extra food was kept in special storehouses where it would be available to needy people and for emergencies. Children were very much wanted in the Inca society. Women helped other women with the birthing. Most women preferred a helper who had herself given birth to twins because twins were considered a sign of God's favor, and mothers of twins were thought to have special powers. After the baby was born, the mother got up and bathed herself and her baby. In a very short time, she was doing her house chores again. If twins were born or the baby had some defect, special rituals were performed. When the baby was 4 days old, it was placed on a low cradle board. The cradle board stood on the floor, supported on 4 legs. 2 hoops were fixed to the board, one at the head and one at the foot. The mother put a shawl on the board and placed her baby on it. The baby was tied to the board with straps of cloth. Then another shawl was thrown over the hoops of the cradle board so the mother could strap the cradle board on her back. In this way, the baby went everywhere with its mother. When the baby cried or needed anything, the mother could easily nurse it and tend to it without taking it out of the cradle board. Inca mothers thought that taking the baby out of the cradle board to hold it and rock it might encourage a baby to be a crybaby. A baby was nursed in the morning, afternoon, and evening, and not at other times, even if it cried. Mothers were afraid that sucking more than that would lead to vomiting and diarrhea, or result in the baby growing up to be a greedy person. Even tiny babies were exposed to night air and bathed in cold water. This was to strengthen the baby's limbs. If a mother wanted to pamper her baby, she took the bath water into her own mouth to warm it and then dribbled it all over the baby, washing everything except the top of the head, which was never washed. A baby was not named until a year or 2 after birth when it was weaned. The naming day was a big celebration which included cutting the hair of the child. After feasting, the most important male relative cut the first lock of hair and gave the child a gift. Everyone else joined in, and at the end, the hair was carefully preserved. The first name a child had was a baby name. Then, when the child reached maturity, he was renamed, sometimes for one of his parents or for a certain quality of his parents admired. Young Inca children, like children everywhere, played games. The little boys had toy bows and arrows, toy spades, and digging sticks. Little girls played with dolls made of grass or molded of clay. At 7 or 8 years of age, children were expected to help their parents. Boys began to herd the llamas and alpacas, and girls ran errands for their mothers and helping with household tasks. Between the ages of 10 and 13, a boy began to work with his father in the fields, and at 14, he was taxed as an adult. At 15, he had to contribute his share of labor to the village. Through helping and imitating their parents, their children learned all the skills they needed for life. All right, that is the close reading for today. So please go back, look at your notes, look at the highlighted sections that you guys have either highlighted or underlined, and create 5 questions that show me that you have read it and understood the material. So you're writing those 5 questions and writing those 5 answers as well. Those answers should be in complete sentences as well as the questions. So yeah, pretty interesting material that's going on here. Again, I don't really like this section in terms of the language that they use in India, or that they're Indians, because clearly they're not Indians. But other than that, really important information that is being covered here. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys are doing well. I do miss you guys. Have a good day.